The Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warm-Up.
The Fan Warm-Up Show is presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
All right, Buckeye basketball fans, it's a little bit easier to turn the attention over to basketball fully because I know a lot of people have a tough time when football season is still underway, but it's done now. You're national champs. You got everything you could get out of that team's season, and now these Buckeyes could use your support the rest of the way. They're not at home tonight. I am curious, though. It's always a fun little thing when you've got your first home men's basketball game after a football team wins a championship. Are they going to show up at the arena, do a little, midway through the first half or a halftime type of appearance out at center court and get honored that way? Their next one at home will be against Iowa, but they got work to do tonight. They've got a task, and they're sitting at 10-8. 2-5 in the Big Ten standings. And the story of this team is that they've been good, but not nearly good enough to close out some of these games. I mean, and these last 3 games have really been brutal. And I think that tells a story when they've got the talent, they've got the ability to play with some of the better basketball teams in the country. But boy, even just taking that smallest step, right? So you've lost 3 straight games by a combined 5 points. That seems like such a narrow margin. But when it's all said and done, nobody cares if you lost by 1 point or by 35. And this team has experienced both. They have been blown out on the road at Maryland. They got blown out what felt like a road game at Auburn, but it was in Atlanta. They lost that one by almost 50, but both games, I want to say they were trailing by 40 at one point. So they've felt that. And when it's all said and done, when you look at the metrics, when you look at KenPom or the net rankings, the loss is the loss. It's like Dom Toretto and Fast and Furious, right? It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. That's all that matters. That's where you are. And so to start playing a little bit better, and you've got some of these great opportunities to pop up on your schedule, but they just slipped away. I know that can be a really, really tough thing and a frustrating thing to try to climb out of and to try to get over as a basketball team. 73-71 at home versus Oregon, a game that they kind of controlled most of, and then it got away at the end. On the road at Wisconsin, 70-68. They can't get the job done there. And then this most recent one against an Indiana team that was really gettable, really felt like and it was. I do, even after the defeat, sitting at 10-8 and knowing that you're going on the road to Purdue here tonight to play in one of the toughest basketball environments in the country, that home game against Indiana was a must-win, and they let it get away. And that dropped them to 1-4 on their home court against high major opponents. They lost the Pitt game, they lost to Michigan State, and then mentioned Oregon and Indiana. 77-76, a 1-point loss in overtime. And you had a game where John Mobley, they drew up a great play for him at the end of regulation. He hits a dagger to tie it, to send it to the OT. But a Luke Goody 3 with about 40 or 50 seconds left in the OT put them up. Then Mobley, he does the good thing in making that shot. And then I thought after that Goody 3, he took a three-pointer that maybe wasn't the best 3 to take with the time and the game situation, down only 1 with more than a shot clock left. Maybe work it, try to get something better. We know you can make that shot, but is it the one that we want you to take right then and there? That's something to think about. It's the turnovers. It's the basketball smarts with this Buckeye Hoops team now. We're seeing that they can play hard and they can play tough. They can hit the glass a little bit. They're able to do some things. They just need to get that three-point shot percentage up a little bit higher and stop turning the ball over and make some of those smarter basketball plays, and maybe some of the wins will come. So it'd be a huge, huge upset, though. If they're able to go into Mackey Arena and beat the Purdue Boilermakers, where they're almost 10-point favorites, it would be a big deal. But let's keep breaking it down. Let's go out there to West Lafayette and talk to the former captain, Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
All right, Ron, good to be with you again. Another one for the Buckeyes here. Big Ten play rolls on. We say it doesn't get any easier. This is about as difficult as it's ever going to get when you're on the road at Purdue.
You're absolutely right, Tim. That it's a sellout every single game this year. This Matt Painter, give him a lot of credit. We talked about this earlier this week, and this program is clearly at the top of the Big Ten, getting to the championship game last year. A lot of folks had question marks. You don't have Zach Edey. Will they be as good? But so far, they've been outstanding. Just come off a two-game sweep out west, and now they're here at home, and they're tough to beat here. Yeah,
another one of those little wrinkles with the Big Ten schedule, right? When you have to go out there and play a twofer. They got Washington by 11. Then they got Oregon on the road by 10 in a game where Purdue, I don't think, touched 35% shooting. So you're always looking at that to see if you can win when the shot's not falling. Speaking of the Buckeyes, Ron, is that a thing they need to learn how to get a little bit better at when the shots aren't falling, how they can still play winning basketball?
No, they've had some games this year where they didn't shoot it great from beyond the arc and still won the basketball game. Obviously the game against Texas, they were lights out from long range. But the thing that, and you touched on it a little bit, they got to be able to close out games. I mean, you're either up or you're right there, and you're not able to make the necessary plays on both ends of the floor that equates to wins. And, the last three games, total 5 points in terms of deficit. That's a small margin. And clearly it could have gone the other way, similar to what happened at Minnesota. But this is a big get if you can get this one and make up for one of those, at least one of those home losses.
It's not every day that we see somebody in college basketball approaching, 9 or 10 assists per game. You got Ryan Nembhard, you got a fellow named Sean Newman Jr., and then Braden Smith, third in America with 8.9 assists per game. Ron, how do you slow him up?
It's tough because his game is more than just scoring. He's one of the reasons why he's up there in the top 3 in assists per game is because he understands the flow. He gets his guys the basketball in great positions for them to score. I was watching some of their game against Oregon on my ride over with the team on the team bus, and his pick and roll action, he can just read defenses, and that's going to be a big concern today. Not only if he's scoring and having a big night, but is he going to help his teammates have big nights? That's why he's preseason Big Ten Player of the Year. He's having a solid season and a big reason why Purdue is where they are right now. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think there were a lot of people that were wondering how he was going to look without having Zach Edey as a running mate anymore. I think midway through the Big Ten season, they're 7-1. They have quieted that. They have proven that. So, Ron, injury news, Devin Royal's good to go. That's a huge get for Ohio State. They need a guy like that who's been one of their better guys on the front line. Well, you think about it, they don't have Zach Edey in there just taking up a lot of paint space. So I think with Devin Royal being healthy, that could be something to look for this particular game. I know he's got to be anxious to play, not performing in the game against Indiana. I think if he's in that game, maybe they win it. But here you are on the road against Purdue. And if he can have a big night catching that ball on that free throw line and getting to the basket, I think that could be huge for Ohio State tonight. Yeah, Ron, probably getting to that free throw line, like you said. And this is another one of those games where you got to look at Bruce. And you need Bruce Thornton and John Mobley to hopefully knock down some more threes like he did last game against Indiana. Yeah, small margin of error. And you're talking about where they all need to play well, especially on the road. We know that already. But, with what we've seen before, Bruce cannot afford to defer and get it going in the second half. He needs to be aggressive and be successful with his aggression. Better decisions. I know we're asking John Mobley to grow up fast, but he is a freshman. He's still going and understanding what it takes to win ball games at this level. But we just need him to grow up a little bit faster because you look at where Ohio State is. They need to start winning some games right now. They sure do. Hopefully they can pull off an upset tonight. Ron, I will be with you and Neil Sika, who's in for Paul Keels, for some of the pregame show coming up. We'll talk to you soon. All right, go Bucks. Absolutely. There he goes. Ron Stokes. It's Ohio State. It's Purdue. Yeah, I go back to that last game, that tough loss to Indiana. The Buckeyes had 19 from Parrish, 18 from Thornton, and 22 from John Mobley. I would have never thought that they could drop a game getting that amount of points from their backcourt. But let's see what they can do tonight at Purdue, right after a national championship win. Let's see it. Buckeye basketball coming up next on The Fan.
You've been listening to Fan Warm-Up.
The Fan Warm-Up Show is presented by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC. Buckeyes lead the way.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, look what I invented.
Jerry, you're wearing a cape.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What is it that you promise our customers, Aaron?
We come through for you when you need us to.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Do you know who does that, Aaron?
We do?
Superheroes do that, Aaron. Superheroes!
I'm guessing you make capes for everyone?
That's right. Every plumber, electrician, and HVAC technician. But I'm not done, Aaron. I'm not done.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Now I'm inventing jetpacks so we can fly to the rescue like proper superheroes. Now say your line again.
We come through for you when you need us to?
No, say it like this. We come through for you when you need us to.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Jerry,
Yeah, Aaron?
how about we put those capes in the closet until you get the jetpacks perfected?
We'll look right when we take flight.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco. Plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Hey, it's Anthony. I know what you didn't receive as a gift, a new pair of feet. But I know how you can feel like you did. Get to the Good Feet store. That's because they're going to help you eliminate your foot pain. And not by just throwing some insoles into your shoes and sending you on your way. They'll make it very personal. They asked me about my daily activities, the type of pain that brought me in, and they properly measured my feet and arch size. You're not done. It's test walk time. Once you're fitted at the Good Feet store, they're going to put those arch supports right into your own shoes. You can immediately feel the difference they make with every step. And then it's the best time. Start enjoying the comfort immediately. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. The Good Feet store. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's our us. When dreams sunk in, that's our us.
It's the new year. Time to make a positive change in your life.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted. Not available.